Hello.
Hey.
We are live.
As if.
Friday Night Live.
Look at us with title sequences and, it's nuts, isn't it?
I know. We're learning every week, aren't we?
Yeah.
Trying to get a bit more pro. And we've gone for the lapel mic option this week because we enjoyed sort of not having a microphone in front of our mouths last week, didn't we?
Yeah, it was nice to be a little bit more free, wasn't it?
Yeah. So let us know if the sound's alright and you can hear us and stuff, if anyone's watching.
We've got the chat up here, so like if you want to put anything in the chat, feel free and we will see it straight away.
Yeah.
And we can just have a chat.
Yeah.
We won't be typing back because that'll look a bit mad. But if you type something to us, we will get to it. But yeah, how have you been this week? Good?
Yeah, alright, yeah, it's been flying by this week really.
Oh, it's nuts. I remember, I think it was Tuesday I saw you.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm so excited for this week's Friday Night Live, and I feel like I've blinked and we're here again.
Yeah, we had such a good time last week, didn't we?
Yeah. Yeah, but Good Friday, bank holiday weekend, happy days, innit?
I know, cheers.
Cheers. And cheers to everyone at home, if you're having a bevy. But really lovely weather today, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's been a good nice few days, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been lovely to have a bit of vitamin D and a bit of actual daylight and
can meet more people outside in gardens and stuff now, so it's sort of come at the right time, hasn't it?
Definitely. It would have been really rubbish if it was like you can go and meet everyone in the garden and then it was just awful weather.
Yeah.
Which would have been sod's law for this country, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But I hope everyone if anyone's watching right now, hope you're doing well. Hope you've had a good week. We've got a fair bit of music to talk about, and then we're going to chat about the Brits, was it?
Yeah, Brit Award nominees were announced this week as well, so
just touch on that. We haven't listened. We haven't even heard some of them, have we? So it's going to be interesting. I think I know who's going to win, but we'll have a chat about that later.
Maybe we should share the stream on our own Facebooks as well. See if anyone.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
Hey. But yeah, I think it's been a good week for music. When I say it's been a good week for music, it's been a good week for some of the singles, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm not, some of the albums have been a little bit. Obviously, we'll get to that, and I have my opinions. And let's face it, some of them aren't that weak sometimes. So it is what it is. You're not coming here for people who just say everything's great, are you?
No.
But yeah, I'm excited for this one. I'm always excited for this, to be fair though.
There's a bit of admin done then. Right, yeah, so there's been a few decent ones come out today, haven't there? Yeah. So we'll get cracking. It's quite Scottish heavy, actually, isn't it?
Yeah, I love a Scottish band.
Yeah. First of all, number one this week was Ben Howard. Collections from the Whiteout, who we talked about last week. So congratulations to Ben Howard on the number
fully
one
congrats to Ben Howard. I think it's great that someone of his stature in the music industry is getting a number one.
Yeah.
I'm starting to not get annoyed at number ones, but like if he was up against anyone of note, it wouldn't have got a number one. That it's all time, and it's all. Can you just hold off a week before? Because I want a number. I don't know. I just think like, for example, if him and Tom Grennan, who got it the week before, were up against each other, no way would Ben Howard have got number one record. It's all timing, it's all planning, it's all and I just think like, okay.
I think it's sort of like
devalues it.
I don't want to say cheating, but like during this time when hardly anyone's really releasing anything, it's like not a full release schedule, is it? It's 2 or 3 a week, so you sort of know who's going to be number one the next week.
It's
like if you want a number one album during this period, like go for it, because if you've got a decent following, you might just get one.
Because everyone's sat at home on their phones, so they're either going to be streaming it, or you can ask them to buy it, or buy
pre-orders,
or like pre-orders and everything like that. So I mean, like, don't get me wrong, fair play to him. I just feel like all right, well planned, well in. And don't get me wrong, it's not an easy thing to do. Otherwise, literally everyone would have one.
Yeah.
But I just think, like, to me, that wasn't a number one record.
No, I don't think
for
so.
me. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't massively into it, was I? But yeah, I mean, I can see he's got a big loyal fan base, hasn't he? So I can see how it's happened, and yeah, fair play.
Yeah.
But yeah, first album, which I've got actually. It probably won't be number one next week. Looking at the list, but
I don't know. You know,
do you reckon? Possibly.
I think when we were just talking about that, I was like,
yeah,
quite possibly.
Yeah. So the Snuts are a Scottish band. They've released their first album called W.L. I don't know if that stands for anything, but what did you think of this?
Disappointed me a little bit. Just because, like, we played with them in Liverpool, didn't we? And they were just this like ball of energy. And I'm gonna put my pen down because I feel like it's distracting me. They were just this absolute ball of energy, like mad, like, and it was a really good show, great like live energy, wasn't it? And then I listened to this and I was just a bit like, where's all that gone?
Yeah.
Where's all of that being in a band and being a 4-piece rock band from like the middle of Scotland? Like, where's that gone? I don't know.
I was going to say exactly the same thing, to be honest. Disappointed me, to be honest. Obviously, I don't know loads about the Snuts. I don't know who they are, but to me, like, we're only basing it obviously after one time we saw them a couple of years ago. So obviously 2 years is a long time to sort of decide who you are as a band and stuff like that. So maybe that's what happened. But to me, I don't think they know who they are.
Do you know? So, in my notes, I've written it's not what a band sounds like. It's just not anything what a band sounds like. It was like produced. It was overproduced to its detriment.
Yeah.
So like it just there was. I feel like it's a studio record.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just all really like odd to me, and it just felt a bit disjointed. And don't get me wrong, there's good songs on it. There is good songs on it, but I also think that like class. I also think that it just made me. To be honest, I didn't even get to the end.
Yeah, I didn't.
And I was constantly thinking, when's it gonna kick up a notch?
Yeah.
And it just changed.
Yeah.
It just didn't really like go up a level. It just went like different a bit.
Yeah.
One thing, it was kind of 90s-ish.
A little bit, yeah, I got that. Yeah.
But like in a way where, not in like, it didn't sound like the Stone Roses all the way through, where some bands are just like, that's how we sound like the 90s.
Yeah.
We just sound like that. Was it Booba Deep? What was that one that we...
Beaver
Doobie, yeah. So like that just sounds like Stone Roses, doesn't it? Like the whole thing is just like focused 90s. This wasn't that. It reminded me of like a dodgy record, or like, you know, in the 90s where bands were like, we can get in the charts if we do like one single that's like super produced. Late 90s, early 2000s, where they would just get these albums from bands where it was just, where's that one come from? Or, you know, but that one's the one that does really well because they know how to play the system. I don't know, I got this kind of odd late 90s, early 2000s sort of thing from it.
Yeah.
And again, not in a good way.
No. It was all over the place for me, really. It was like, they had... It was like a solo record for him. He's got a good voice, and
do you know,
but you know, that's sort of to the detriment of the band in a way, because it was sort of heavily focused on
first track. I thought I'd put the wrong record on because I thought I'd put Adele on.
Yeah, like Tom Grennan or something.
It was like sort of... and don't be wrong, like his vocal for some reason, I kept thinking that sounds like Adele.
Yeah,
but like he's got an incredibly like contemporary voice for like pop music now. But like the whole thing, and I've actually written down that it was kind of totally forgettable.
Yeah, 100%.
I can't really lay me hat on like a highlight throughout the whole thing, having listened to it once.
Yeah.
And also I've written down like, are these the new McFly?
Yeah, that seems to be the the direction they're heading in, doesn't it? Like Radio 1.
Yeah. What was the band, The Academic?
Yeah,
It was similar. I feel like it's a similar thing where it's the new McFly, where it's like the entry band for a lot of people, which is great. Yeah. If this gets 1,000 kids into indie music and rock music and playing instruments and blah blah blah, then ace. Yeah. That's only a good thing, isn't it? But I don't know. I just thought I was just a bit disappointed with this one. Yeah. It just kind of really fell flat for me.
The first 6 songs sounded completely different to the second lot of 6 songs.
But also within them 6 songs, there was just like swathes of differences between them 6 songs, wasn't there? Yeah. Like I know what you mean. You can kind of group the first and the second half, but then even
the second half was a mix, wasn't it?
Yeah. As you say, it just seems like someone's like he's gone on, like the main singer's been sent on a load of like writing trips, and we're that's what we're left with, kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. It's maybe they're thinking prolonging the career, but it is selling out to me. But like if that first album does well, you've got to look at it in terms of like then you get the green light for the album number 2.
Yeah.
You've grown the fan base from like this Radio 1 sort of sound that you've got, and then you can do an album number 3. It's
seems like a lot of bands go in the opposite direction. So like it's kind of flipped on its head a little bit now, where like if you aim for Radio 1 first, then afterwards you can do what you want.
Yeah.
Whereas it used to be that you, like for example, if you look at Coldplay, that's the opposite way round.
Yeah.
They were on like 6 Music. They were, they were on like all of the like indie radio stations. Like their first records would never have got on Radio 1.
No.
And then they built and built and built and built and built, and then it's like now anything he does gets on Radio 1.
Yeah.
And all of the big radio stations and across America and everything like that, Whereas now it feels like a lot of bands are just going like, well, just go to Radio 1 and then afterwards, whatever. Yeah. I struggle with it a little bit. This is a certain kind of music at the moment.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's difficult for me to buy into it. Yeah. I can see through it straight away. Definitely. You know what I mean?
Yeah, as I say, going from what we saw 2 years ago to now, like it's unrecognisable to me.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I haven't kept abreast of what they've been doing. It's literally been like I saw them live and I was like, wow, that's cool. And then I didn't like follow them or anything. I didn't, I haven't listened to many of the singles that have come out really. And then I've literally just like gone straight in and listened to this. I was like, is this the same band even? Yeah. Have they had like massive lineup change or something? But it just seems like a solo record. Yeah. A little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah. I can't remember who. I think he opened up for like.
They've had some good.
A pop act or something, didn't he? Like recently,
right.
So I don't know. Maybe like that's, as you say, that whole McFly route and that. Yeah.
Which is a completely legitimate route. Like McFly. I mean, look at them now. Exactly, like fair play, But I don't know. As you say, it's the McFly were always McFly.
Yeah.
And I just feel like the Snuts were not that.
Yeah.
They were very, very not that. Bands like that don't play in the shipping forecast in Liverpool.
Yeah, like my Ludwig vintage Kiss and stuff. Like, not what that means anything to anyone. But, it doesn't really fit in with the pop mold, essentially.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Not a great album, and it didn't feel like a body of work. It just felt like a collection of songs.
Yeah.
So we move on to the next Scottish band of the day. A blast from the past a little bit. The Fratellis. So they've released their new album, Half Drunk Under a Full Moon. I like the name.
Yeah, is that about it?
That's about it, yeah.
It's different. It massively is different. And like, I knew that it was going to be this way from the singles that they've released over the past, feels like 2 months almost, doesn't it? It's been a long, for what is a lockdown release, it seems like it's been really drawn out.
Yeah.
But I like this more than the Snuts.
Yeah, definitely enjoyed it.
It had more to it, didn't it? Yeah. There's just like, they've gone in this like psychedelic route. They've gone very much towards the psychedelic world, and they've gone
Yeah.
They're just trying. It seems a bit more experimental than
Yeah.
they are not the people that released Chelsea Dagger.
No, and you can see that when they play live.
They play it first,
yeah,
and then the room empties, and then they play to the people who actually. Yeah. It's a great plan. But yeah, it's just one of them where I just think, it's not in my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
It was. I could tell it was good. It was a body of work.
Yeah.
And I just there was some. Do you know what the best part about this was the lyrics? I think.
Yeah.
I think there was just like a really like consistent level of lyric kind of in there.
Yeah, as I say, there's like,
and there was some interesting sounds.
Yeah, and there's a couple of times where you think, that was like straight back to the first
bit more like burlesque ones and stuff.
But yeah, as you say, it's got more of an aesthetic to it than the Snuts album. It's more of a body of work, which I appreciate. But yeah, it just wasn't particularly, definitely not groundbreaking. Definitely not going to do that well.
No. It'll sell to the 1,000 people that love the Fratellis.
Yeah.
But probably not much else after that.
No.
I know they've been getting a lot of play on the Six Music.
Yeah.
Six Music love it.
All right. Okay.
But,
I can see that.
Yeah. But other than that.
Yeah. So we move on.
Not a huge amount to say on that one, to be honest. It's just,
Let's go to Demi Lovato, Dancing with the Devil, the artist starting over.
Here we go.
You know what? I don't know what you're going to say, but this was my favourite out of the albums today. The first three, I think it's split into two, isn't it? The first bit's like the Dancing with the Devil, which is linked to the YouTube series, which are them sort of ballads at the start, and then she does like a little intro to the art of starting over thing. So she's obviously been through a lot, and like this is a very personal album. It's obviously about everything she's been through, nearly dying, and then sort of trying to re-establish her career. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I think it was just after listening to them two records, it was a lot more digestible, a lot more accessible, and there was like quite a lot of songs on it as well on the deluxe version, and it was still like 15 minutes shorter than the Snuts one.
The Snuts one was a really long record.
But yeah, I enjoyed it. It was fine. I'm not going to rush back to listen to it or anything, but I think it's a good album.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I really didn't. No. And again, I think it's so. One point is that not everyone will have seen that documentary.
Yeah.
In fact, probably most people haven't seen that documentary.
Yeah. It's on YouTube now.
And so, but and so there's a huge disconnect. I feel like it would rely on the documentary a lot. It's leaning on this visual film aspect.
Yeah, the fact
to tell a lot of the to bridge a lot of the gaps, kind of. And then if you haven't seen that, you kind of she's just like, well, see it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I mean it's released at the same time, isn't it? So
yeah,
that's probably why they're tied together.
Yeah, totally. But I had a lot of. Again, so she's got a great voice.
Yeah.
The main takeaway for me was that what a fantastic voice.
Yeah.
Second takeaway for me was get a better songwriting team.
Yeah.
The songs were bad.
Yeah.
The songs weren't good at all. And I know from what you've said about the documentary that it is like a record that will mean a lot to her.
Yeah.
It really will mean a lot to her, and I'm just like, then do it better.
Yeah. It's got a few collabs in there, hasn't she? Got Ariana Grande. Yeah.
Still not a good song. I don't know. It was just like, just because you put these people on these tracks doesn't make them good songs. It just makes them a mediocre song at best.
Yeah. With
Ariana Grande singing a verse of it as well. I don't know. I could just see through that straight away as well. I was just like, still a not a good song.
Yeah.
And when I say not a good song, I mean not a good song by contemporary pop standards.
Yeah.
If you so there was a few songs that so after the first two I almost turned it off.
Yeah.
That weird intro thing. Yeah. Nearly just turned it off. You've turned me right off. Do you know what I mean? I was just like, okay. Then there was like the intro speaking bit, and I thought, right, I'll stick around. Then that Lonely People, I thought, oh, this is the first decent song. And even then it was average. Do you know what I mean? Like, just it started kind of there was a lot of songs on this record that like started with like an interesting sound or an interesting beat or an interesting something interesting, and I thought, now we're getting into something. And then it was like 8 bars too long of that thing, and I was bored then. And then it didn't really go anywhere after that. Yeah. And then they just called back to that sound right at the end of the song, and I was just a bit, oh yeah, there's that thing that you did at the start. You know? Just seemed like, by modern pop standards, there was too many words. Lyrically, poor album. Very, very, very poor album lyrically. Again, in modern pop standards, she's a pop star. She is a pop star. There's no, you can't put this in any other genre than pop. It's pop, you know. So if it's pop, you've kind of got to play by the rules. Like this whole, you've got to put 3 notes in a song, like, and keep things very, very simple so people can digest it and sticks in their head. Do you know what I mean? Like, Ed Sheeran's a master at it. Yeah. Ed Sheeran is an absolute master at creating modern pop songs. Everything's just 3 notes and it's simple. Yeah. This was like, she's fitting like a sentence in a chorus, like full like story in a chorus, and I'm like, I can't keep a track of this at all. Yeah. Again, there was just too many lyrics in all of the songs. Melon Cake, I thought, started really interestingly. Didn't go anywhere. Yeah. Bored me straight away. I found myself skipping through a lot of... Just to try and get to something. I was just skipping through loads, you know. And there was just a point where I thought, like, I'm really sorry, Demi Lovato, but I just don't care about your story. Yeah. Like, there's so many other stories. There's billions of stories in the world, and you want me to sit through this record to learn about your story, and it's like, if you can't tell me the story in, like... This is the modern thing, isn't it? If you can't tell me the story within a verse, and I'm like going, yeah, but what else? Yeah. People are going to turn off. Yeah. That is modern pop music. It's TikTok and it's 15 seconds, and then if you haven't captured someone's attention in that 15 seconds, you're gone. Yeah. And I just think everything that they could have got wrong in this record, they did.
I didn't get that, to be honest. I thought it was all right. Yeah.
To be a modern pop record.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Like, there isn't a rule that you've got to be that.
There isn't, no, but I just think, like, for it to sell well and to be good, like, they're rules because... Yeah. So, like, if you listen to a Little Mix record, but every song plays by that rule, and therefore any of the songs can be a single, which means they can sell more, which means they... I don't know, I just think, like,
but all of like these songs, she's in America especially, like she's got the Disney fan base and everything.
I feel like that's all. Like if she came out with this record and she wasn't the Disney thing, no one would be listening to it. I think that's like me thing. It was just like, you can't just make mediocre music and then expect people to go, like it's still mediocre music. Yeah, and I know that the subject matter isn't mediocre, but I just couldn't get through to the subject matter because it was just information. Yeah. Too much detail almost, you know. Set in not an interesting world. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was mediocre, but I didn't think it was bad. Like it was good, it was fine. So don't get me wrong, as I say, I'm not going to listen to it again, and you know, I wasn't enthralled like properly, like really closely listened to it, but it was like.
But you enjoyed some of it.
I enjoyed having it on, like in the background.
Right, yeah.
It wasn't like offending me in the background. So it was like just like the Snuts was offending me a little bit at some point.
Yeah, like, definitely.
It was brash and it was just like grating on me.
And like the Fratellis isn't as accessible at all, is it? Like that like you can't really have that on in the background because. No. Yeah. I know what you mean. Like if you wanted something out of the 3, if you wanted something to just be on in the background, then that's the one, isn't it?
Yeah,
but that's to its detriment almost.
So that's not what she
Yeah, you don't make a record to be on in the background of something, do you?
No. So let's move on to Dan Croll.
It's just great. Great album, but in a live setting.
Yeah. So he released this last year, the studio version of Grand Plan. And it's one of our favourite albums of the past year, really, wasn't it? We've got an episode coming up on it, which should be out soon. And yeah, he's released a live version of it.
It was just quality, wasn't it? The whole record's like got a quality to it and it's interesting. It sounds interesting. It sounds good. It sounds like they've just it's being paid attention to, and there's just, as I say, we've got an episode about it where we go fully in depth into it, don't we? And we really give you our full thoughts on it. But I just enjoyed listening to them in a different format, slightly different format.
Yeah. So not disappointed, but I was a little bit like, thrown that there was no like backing vocals, and like he didn't have backing vocalists. So like in the parts where some of the songs have like riffs with backing vocalists and stuff, don't they? And they used like organ instead to sort of
pad that out.
Which is fine. Like I enjoyed that as well, but yeah, I would have liked maybe a little bit of extra backing vocals or whatever.
Having seen Dan live and like, you know, knowing what he's about and everything, I think if it was live, proper live setting, he would have backing vocals. He'd probably have like 2 backing vocalists, I imagine. You know, if he's spent this much time and effort putting in the BVs on the record, you would imagine that in a normal like time, that would have been the case. But it was all recorded during COVID and everything, wasn't it? So I think maybe personnel and all that kind of stuff is obviously an issue. Could they have done it with a track? Maybe.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah. I suppose that takes away from
the live,
the raw element of it, doesn't it? And stuff.
Yeah. But it was just nice to hear it again.
Yeah, definitely.
And to kind of wake it up in my brain once more.
Such a good voice. It's like it's sometimes you forget you're listening to the live version of it because his voice is so good. It's like
a crooner. He's a modern day crooner, definitely.
Like, he just recreates the record sound perfectly.
Yeah.
Really good. But that was a special mention, really, because obviously it's one that's been released already. But
and as I say, we've got we've got an episode coming out very very soon. Just on that whole record. But it's kind of the album's done, isn't it?
Yeah.
As an overview, Snuts rubbish.
Yeah.
Fratellis just hard. Bit over my head. Demi Lovato.
Yeah.
And Dan Croll, just a good few songs out of his last record.
Yeah. Not a very
it wasn't like a blockbuster week, really, was it?
Definitely not.
And I do think that the Snuts are going to get a #1 record.
Do you reckon? Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, probably in this country, to be fair.
Yeah.
Just
because I think they could mobilise a fan base more than maybe Demi Lovato could.
Yeah,
I think that's the main competition here, isn't it?
Yeah, Radio 1 might push it more as well.
Yeah.
Who knows? But yeah, we'll move on to the singles, shall we?
Singlers. Yeah. Les Cadbury's Singlers.
Vistas. Start Again, another Scottish band. A Scottish trio. Well, when I saw them live, they definitely weren't a trio, so maybe they're like officially a trio, and then they have a couple of members live. Yeah, but they supported Blocks, who we talked about last week. So in the same sort of vein as them, and that sort of fans of Blocks might like Vistas. And yeah, I really enjoyed this one. It's a nice pop banger. I
had one note, and it was just I love it. I love this song. It's great. Do you know what? The more I listen to it, the more I get like Dandy Warhols. Vibes off it. Not as lo-fi. Yeah. But there is a definite like feel and element to it, isn't there? Of that like just like almost driving music.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
This thing that you could just like you feel like you're in like the desert and you just whack it up on like a rooftop, like a car with the roof down. And, just cool. Really, really nice. I'd not listened to these before, and you sent me it before, and I was buzzing. It was great.
Yeah, definitely worth checking out. Their other stuff. They are a really good band. They've got some great hits. Yeah. I don't know if they've released the first album yet, but
I'll be
if
having
they
a look.
haven't, yeah. But I think this was like, I was reading an interview that he had writer's block over lockdown, and this was like the first song he wrote when he sort of was able to release that, the writer's block. So
it has that energy to it. It has that like almost pent up energy that then explodes. You know, like it really does kind of.
Yeah, definitely.
And it just doesn't stop all the way through. I love this one. Yeah, really, really cool. Not much more to add on that one, I'm afraid.
So we've got St. Vincent next, The Melting of the Sun. And we discussed their first single a few weeks ago, their first single off this new record, Daddy's Home. I didn't like it, you liked it.
It was very Prince, wasn't it?
But I like this one. I really like this one.
It's cool.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
I think it shows their versatility.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I think if you've I've kind of followed St. Vincent for a while, and you get to know how versatile of an artist she can be.
Yeah.
And these two songs really, really like showcase that a lot, I think.
Yeah.
And it's cool. It's not even like they're just two different songs. The production's different. Just everything's different, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And she almost like plays characters in the songs and has that real she has a very theatrical performer and very like interesting performer live and everything. And it's just great to see this getting received as well as it has been. You know, I just think it's a really great sound. It shows how brave she is to just do like this thing over here and then go, I'm gonna go and do this. And it's like almost opposite. But it's just a nice song, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lot more chilled out than that first single, isn't it? Melancholy, and
it's got that like dry thing that's very cool at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, the production, yeah.
Which I feel like is gonna. This is just kind of a bit off topic, but I feel like that whole thing is gonna swing back the other way quite soon.
Yeah.
And I'll touch on that again in a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, nice dry production, really cool, of the moment, sort of contemporary slacker rock sort of thing going on.
Yeah, definitely.
Just nice lyrics as well, really, really nice, cool lyrics that
yeah.
I just got on board with straight away.
Yeah.
Cool, really, really cool song.
Nice. So should we move on?
Yeah.
Favourite of ours, Fickle Friends.
Yeah.
Generally don't have anything bad to say about these, do we?
No.
And same for me again. This anyway. I really enjoyed this. It's quite summery.
They just know how to write one of them songs, don't they?
It's just their formula, isn't it? They've got it nailed down. And like you almost know that it's going to be good if you like Fickle Friends now.
I'm just hoping that like the rest of them that maybe get released now. Maybe I need to go back and listen again to all of them that have been released off this like double parter.
This is like their second album, but they're releasing it in singles. And then in two halves as well. Before Christmas, they released like 6 singles, and then they put it in an EP called Weird Years Part 1. And they're doing the same for Part 2 now as well. So this is the start of Weird Years Part 2.
And I'm pretty sure I might be wrong here, but it's a concept thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, it's all
As I say, I think possibly I need to go back and refresh my memory on them ones that got released. Part 1, yeah. Just because I could tell it was a great song and it was a great Fickle Friends song, and it just didn't grab me as hard as other Fickle Friends songs, and I feel like possibly if it was in context it would.
Yeah.
If it was surrounded by Fickle Friends, then maybe I'd go, oh, I love this one.
Yeah.
You know, there might be a little bit of that knocking about somewhere.
Yeah. No, I agree with
that. Good, really good stuff, isn't it? You know, the whole 90s thing that they've got going on at the moment is. Don't be wrong. There's a lot of people doing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I quite like this song.
Yeah, I really like Natty as well. She's got a great voice. I think.
Yeah.
Like she's just.
I forget the guy's name now. Is it Jack, the one that like writes?
I think so.
A lot of it.
Yeah.
He's cool.
Yeah.
And he's so good at what he does.
Yeah.
Like I've seen some interviews and some like studio tour things and like where he's like breaking down tracks that they've done in his studio, and the level of detail that they go through to release a song. Like he was going through I think maybe it was Swim, and they were just, or maybe it was on their Instagram, and they were just showing like all of the different iterations that Swim went through before they released it. And it was, they must have had like 17 different choruses for that before they eventually landed on like that one.
Yeah, they properly explore every avenue, don't they?
And but like it's not just like a bit of a demo, it's like a fully produced like full song with that slight tweak and slight change. And then there's like 17 of them, and then they went, that's the best one. And fair play, it was. Amazing. Really, really great. They really work hard. They graft.
And they do everything on their own as well.
By the looks of their Instagram and stuff, they've rented like an Airbnb somewhere, haven't they? That they just made camping, and that's where they're recording for the next however many weeks. Which is such a cool way of recording.
Yeah, definitely.
Like if you can record on your own and that's what you do, then
spend all the money on an Airbnb.
Spend on the money. spend half of the budget on an Airbnb for an album, and you'll be set, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Yeah, they do all the production on their own. They do all the videos now, I think, on their own as well. So I think maybe that's why they have got this sort of similar sound running all the way through. But yeah, I don't mind it. I mean, it'd be
interesting to hear them with someone else producing, and I don't know whether it'd be a good thing.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Actually,
it's one of them where sometimes you see a band and like they have a way of working in their close-knit thing, and maybe people get added by a record company or something a little bit too soon, and it ruins that whole thing, and it's a long time then for them to try and claw it back.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, this was cool. I did enjoy it.
So Dry Cleaning, this is a band I saw on Jules Holland a couple of weeks ago.
He's nuts.
Never seen him before, and this is mad. They actually released an album today, and it totally passed me by. So we didn't review this full album, but this is a single.
There's going to be uproar with all
the Dry
two
Cleaning
people
fans
that are following it. All right, Mum.
Comment in the.
It's probably Mum and Chris. Oh Jesus! Let's skip over that. Dry Cleaning, mad.
Yeah.
It's so like new wavy kind of. Is that the right word? The right term? Like post rock, post.
Yeah, I got a quote off the internet. Yeah, it said their sound marries agitated post punk with the singer's spoken word, sardonic spoken word lyrics.
It is that, very obnoxious, like southern.
It reminded me of like Blair's sort of more experimental stuff.
Again, not my. I probably wouldn't put this on in the car.
No.
But I enjoyed kind of having my mind melted for 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, it was interesting, wasn't it? Yeah, it was different.
Yeah, I enjoyed listening to it and thinking, "Where's this gonna go?"
Yeah, definitely.
I this is what I'm saying about like the Demi Lovato thing.
Yeah.
Like at no point listening to any of them songs did I go, "I wonder where this is going." This one I enjoyed because of that. Just kind of a fun. It was a bit fun.
Yeah, it was.
I could imagine it being played in Nambucca in London,
definitely.
That kind of
venue pub sort of thing.
Yeah, it was super like indie sort of thing, and everyone's wearing barber coats and Doc Martens.
Yeah, they looked cool on Jules Holland. They did it in Moss Club, I think. Is it Moss? It's like a venue in London.
Oh, right.
But they were like on the floor, with like a stage behind them and stuff.
I think that looks really cool.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
I hope that carries on after lockdown and everything, because it is cool.
Yeah, I think they're touring as well. They're playing Liverpool in November or something. Yeah, Arts Club.
I probably won't go.
No. I might just.
I mean, you know what? If it gets to the time and I'm free and all that kind of stuff, then maybe I'll go.
I'll give their album a listen. And we might give it a mention next week if it's any good.
Yeah. I'll come on with a t-shirt. Yeah.
So this one is, I don't know how you say his name, Poté,
yeah.
featuring Damon Albarn, who, if you don't know, is a singer of Blair, and Gorillaz. Yeah.
And Good, the Bad and the Queen.
Yeah. So this is a St. Lucia born, London raised, and Paris based artist called Poté. Yeah, he is.
Oh, it's just weird, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think he's had one album out so far. I've never heard of him, but
me neither.
Yeah, this must be the start of his second record. Yeah, it was mad, wasn't it? Absolutely weird, to be honest.
It was interesting.
Yeah.
Again, I was just thinking, like, I think if anything has Damon Albarn on it, like, I'm so biased. I just think, like, I'll listen to this then, yeah. I reckon if it didn't have Damon Albarn's name on it, I probably would have just turned it off.
Yeah. But it's very Damon Albarn. Like, he's got that side to him, hasn't he? He did like the Africa Express and stuff. He loves like world music and stuff.
I did put something that it just comes from the mad. Interesting from the arty mind of Damon Albarn.
He's got a very experimental side to him.
Yeah, and it's a super political thing, and he has that side to him very much.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, and I think his name legitimizes this whole project. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it's a weird. Yeah, I suppose at first I was like, that's a weird collaboration, but it made sense when listening to it.
Yeah, it's cool.
Political thing and all.
Yeah, definitely. There was just the drum break is probably the high point in it.
Yeah,
there's like a really cool, like, high energy drum break soundscape sort of thing that happens as a chorus in place of a chorus. Maybe you could argue. Just cool. Yeah. Again, wouldn't listen to it in the car probably, but we are where we are.
Yeah. So this next one is a local band on. You know, Dave, so you give a proper introduction.
I know Dave and Muzz, Seafoam Green, Dave and Muzz are both from Ireland originally. Both live in Liverpool.
Live in New Brighton.
Dave lives in New Brighton, just down the road from us. They have this kind of Americana blues thing that they just do really well. It might not be my favourite thing that's ever happened, but like, I know good musicians when I see them. I know people with good voices when I see them, and I know like people with passion when I see it, and that's what gets me in and involved. You know, people who are passionate about something, I just start, my ears prick up, and I'm like, okay, and tell me what next.
And he's so like into it, isn't he? Like he's and so is Muzz. Like both of them are just so. They work at it every day. They're so passionate about it. You speak to Dave about music and you'll be there for hours. It's great speaking to and he knows, he's like an encyclopedia. Really, really great, really passionate about music, and just like a fun guy as well. He's like, you know, he's a laugh as well at the end of the day. And they're quite big in like America, aren't they? They do tours of America.
They've done tours of America and that, as I say, it's that Americana blues sort of style that does really well over there.
That's pretty much exactly what I wrote. Vintage sounding Americana blues song.
Really
nice guitar and organ licks, and uplifting and sun drenched. I could imagine them playing, opening a stage at Glastonbury, like on a sunny day in the middle of the.
It's got all of that, the boho thing, you know, and their voices work so well together. I think like Muzz has got such a lovely voice. And it works so well and contrasts with Dave's voice so well. It's a really nice marriage there that they've got this thing going on that they can, and this song plays off each other really well. I think because Dave's really low and he can get to them like really low, especially in the chorus. Like he can get to them super low notes, and Muzz can just like belt out and just play with whatever's going on up there, which is really great. And the drums, it made me laugh when I first heard it. It was just like that. Led Zeppelin, When the Levee Breaks. It was just
you showed me it before.
A really, but like in a great way. It wasn't like, because to people who don't know it, like you, it was just like, it sounds great. But to people who like know of that or whatever, it's kind of like an in joke maybe, or like just a nod. It wasn't like a cheesy thing. It was done really well, and it was like, I really enjoyed it. Yeah, just a nice song. Really, again, not hugely in my wheelhouse, but as I say, I can tell quality when I see it.
Yeah, it's enjoyable to listen to. Yeah. Isn't it? It's not like
it's not like I didn't turn it off.
Yeah.
Not like any of their songs. I don't turn them off.
Yeah.
I can listen to a record of theirs easy, you know. It's just I'd have to be in a very, very specific mood to search it out and go, oh yeah, I'll have a bit of that, you know. Like I've got their first record on vinyl, and every now and then I'll just like whack that on, and it is a great one to just chill and listen to.
Yeah, I saw them busking actually a couple of weeks ago outside Vale Park here in the little shelter thing. He had this electric guitar with a little lamp, and they were both singing together.
Sick.
Yeah, it was nice.
Oh, I'm glad I missed that. That would have been cool.
So we'll move on to the next one. This was another bit of a mad one, I thought. Vanity Fairy, Angel.
This blew my head off. Where do you start with that? Do you know what? It was cool for about half of it.
Yeah, definitely. It got a bit. Didn't really go anywhere.
Yeah, it first came on and that like bass synth happening, and I was like, ooh, groovy, nice. I like this. Happy days. Then the next thing was, okay, it's happening again.
Yeah.
And then like the vocal came in, and I was like, whoa, this is interesting. So carried on listening. And then, then after that, and there was no other vocal. What would have worked really, really well was another vocal.
Yeah.
Just to offset how mad that vocal is. And how, it's like a fairy vocal, isn't it?
Yeah, it says she's been, compared to Kate Bush and Bat for Lashes. That sort of 70s, 80s.
Yeah, it has that, definitely.
Yeah, I think she's signed to that Moshi Moshi record, so it's very Moshi Moshi. Yeah. It's right up there, wheelhouse, isn't it? As you say, yeah, I didn't mind it. Yeah, it's that sort of synth riff reminded me of Gold and Silver's.
Had that definitely. Yeah. But yeah, it just needed another vocal to keep it. Like if she came in and did that, and then the second verse was a different vocal, like a male vocal, that you'd go, "Oh, that's brought something new to the table."
Yeah.
And then the chorus was back to her. You'd go, it'd refresh your ears from it a little bit,
definitely.
But you just didn't get that break of that weird vocal sound, if you know what I mean. So I just felt, okay, it's kind of the same all the way through.
Yeah,
a bit flat, wasn't it?
Yeah, it needed another gear to go to. Didn't
it? It came in, and I was like, yes, cool. Yeah. Never really did anything after that.
Yeah, not much.
But the original, the when it did come in, I was super impressed.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's very catchy.
Yeah.
So we move on to the penultimate single, which is a band I saw on the South by Southwest online a few weeks ago now. And these are called Drugstore Romeos. It's from the UK, I don't know whereabouts, but yeah, this was a new one called What's On Your Mind. I think they've got an album coming out in the next few weeks or so. I really enjoyed it. It's sort of shoegazy indie pop, and the bass line was really nice, running through it, quite prominent, and the synth sound was sort of had a laid back feel to it. I enjoyed it, and there's a bit of a tempo change at the end, wasn't it, which added a nice gear. I'd say maybe that Vanity Fairy was saying it needed another gear to go to. That sort of did that for this song really.
That surprised me actually. That was such a weird thing for a band to do nowadays, isn't it?
Especially playing to click and stuff.
Tempo change. Whoa! I kind of, when it first started to creep up, I was like, "Is that happening, or is that just my ears?"
Yeah.
It took me a couple of bars before where I was like, "Oh, that's actually a tempo change. What the hell is going on?" But it kept me interested because it was a bit bland for me. This. On the flip side of that, it is that cool slacker indie kind of thing that's happening at the moment. Really dry. Really very of the moment.
Yeah, it is definitely.
One thing, as you've touched on, that was really great. I love that the bass is this new melodic instrument that people are like. I mean, the Kings of Leon record was just so bass melodic heavy, wasn't it? Like almost all of the melodic elements of that record were bass, and this is kind of following that same trend and having a lot of the melodic weight being held with the bass, because you've got the pads on the keys. You can get away with the bass doing a melodic thing. You don't need it to drive the tonal shifts in the song. You can get away with the keys are giving you all that information. So the bass can do what it wants. It can add power. It can add melody. It can add, there's lots of other things that it can add percussive elements rather than any other. So it was cool. It was really interesting. I just think that this is going back to that point of the dry thing that I was talking about before. I think soon you're gonna get like a super pendulum swing, and like reverb's just gonna come back with a bang. Someone's gonna release a record that features a hell of a lot of reverb, and everyone's gonna go, remember reverb? That was class. Let's smash reverb on everything, and like snares are gonna sound like they did like on a Cure record again. They're gonna be like really high tuned. Do you know what I mean? I feel like you can follow the trajectory of musical trends by what the snare sounds like in records for like over for years. At the moment, they're super low, super flat, and super dry, and I feel like in the next 12 months, maybe, we're going to get super reverby snare drums. And it's going to be this thing that's like, someone's going to do, like, someone's going to remember the Smiths would release a record and you couldn't barely hear the crack of the snare because it was all reverb. Like, that's going to happen. Like, really drenched shoegazy sort of stuff, I reckon, is going to be like the next thing, and it all comes from, I think, skateboarding. I know it sounds mad, but like, we were in town the other day in Liverpool. You could not move for skateboards. Skateboarding is so cool again, and like this sound of indie music came from like the skateboarding culture in America. So that's where it's bleeding in from. I feel like that whole
Tony Hawk thing as well. That influenced a lot of music at the time, didn't it?
At the time, and then
punk pop stuff and all.
And then now it went to this like really super dry indie thing. You're thinking like Mac DeMarco and people were doing like skate edits to that kind of music, and then that these things bleed into one another, and then next thing you've got like quite big pop bands taking on parts of these indie elements, if you know what I mean, and I just think, as I say, I think it's going to be interesting when the pendulum swings right back the other way and everything gets drenched in reverb and like it's going to be funny. It really is.
The cyclical nature of
that
reverb.
All rock and roll. Bill me for the microphone. But it was offensive. This one, and I did enjoy it. It was just a bit bland.
Definitely. So the final one isn't a new one, really, but it came out today. Clean Cut Kid, who we've got some opinions on, so we thought we'd put this in.
Put it to bed.
So we used to be in love with off their first record, Felt, was it called? We loved it. It was like we got into them like quite early on. We'd seen them supporting Fickle Friends, actually.
That was it.
And then we went to like loads of their sort of gigs before, like on their way up to releasing that first record. And it was
seen them 15 times or something.
It's just one of them dead exciting times, wasn't it? Like, and they play a new song every time you go and see them, and you're like, oh, we need to hear that again. So we go to the next gig.
This was that song.
Yeah, this is the main one for us. But our opinions change on them a bit. Following the
18 months, probably.
I personally don't like it when a band sort of like vocalises their displeasure at their first record, which everyone loves. And they've done a lot of that recently. 10 in the nose up at that sort of early. What got them to where they are today, really, to be fair. And I know they've had a bad experience with the record label and stuff, which has obviously left a sour taste in their mouth, but I just think they've gone about stuff the wrong way a little bit, and so this is like the demo they released, they said that the story behind it was they
recorded loads of them.
This was the song that the record label wanted to like be the centerpiece of the first record, so they sent them around the world to all of these really brilliant producers, and they hated every one of them. And they liked a few, didn't they? But they used the one that they liked the least. It sounded great to me, to be fair, but like, yeah, this is the demo, so they can't release any of the others because they don't own the rights to them, so this was like the first version.
So the answer in that situation is to release a worse version of
the
song. This for me is just what they've become. And if this was the plan all along, then fair play. However, I dislike this whole. I dislike the camp.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Everything they've produced really for the past 2 years.
Yeah.
You know, as you say, you haven't had enough. You haven't had anywhere near enough to then denounce your first record.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
You can't denounce something that not many people get to do.
Yeah.
Because you don't like it a bit.
Yeah.
When you wrote it.
Yeah.
It's yours.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I just find the whole thing. Maybe I don't have some of the information that is pertinent to them massively spitting their dummy out and pushing back massively at the music industry, yet still wanting to be in the music industry.
Yeah.
There's a thing here that just clashes.
Yeah, definitely.
We don't want to be signed. We don't want to be on this record label. But we want to be musicians and we want you to be...
Yeah.
Whoa, what? This is just a complete... It's fighting itself.
Yeah, I know.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
You know, and I just think, like, this is the perfect tale of, you know, someone biting their nose off to spite their face.
Yeah.
It really is, because now what?
Yeah.
Where do you go now?
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, there's people who will like whatever they do because they're just really into them as a band, but like it almost feels offensive to me like because I was part of that
the original wave,
like getting them to that point.
Getting we paid every time to go and see them. We were excited.
We loved it, and we believed that they loved it.
Yeah,
and they're saying now that they hated it. Not hated it, but you know they.
Yeah. Yeah. We were the feet on the ground a lot. We were saying to people, you know, you need to listen to this band, you need to do that, you know. And I know what you mean. Yeah, you do feel
you've got to be really careful when you do stuff like that.
There's just something that doesn't add up for me. Even what they've done, it's like, I was in studios and I worked in recording for a few years. And the biggest thing is like analog versus digital, blah 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 blah. If you just then buy a tape machine and like this is what we're gonna do, we're only gonna use tape. It's like you're not, because in that case, no one's gonna hear the music.
Yeah, exactly.
There needs to be a computer and along the line at some point.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's no point.
Exactly.
But pardon me.
That peaked that.
Did it? Oh, it is peaking again. Turn that down. Yeah. There's just again something that doesn't add up. There's something that doesn't feel right. Yeah, I mean, thank Christ he had a shave.
Yeah, definitely.
Because that gimmick
yeah.
wore off on me before the first album was
definitely, out. Yeah.
And then it carried on growing.
Yeah. Get
a grip. I don't know, the whole thing feels dead weird to me, and then you put out this.
Yeah.
Like, record a new version of it. If you weren't happy with that song, you still owned the song.
Yeah.
Record now that you got a tape machine and this is how you wanted things to sound. Re-record the whole record.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And make this thing that you wanted. No, don't release a worse version of the thing that.
Yeah.
None of it makes any sense to me.
No. But don't get me wrong. I do like hearing like demos of like when the Arctic Monkeys released demos of Favourite Worst Nightmare.
Yeah.
It was really interesting to see where it's come from. and where it's grown to. But so yeah, this is exactly
the same.
Yeah, there was no
it
difference.
It didn't grow at all. It got a little bit faster.
Yeah. There's no like extra parts or anything, or less parts, is there? It's
no,
just,
it's exactly the same all the way through.
Yeah.
Just an odd decision from two people who maybe have lost their way.
Yeah.
We'll put it that way.
Yeah. So, as we mentioned before, the Brit Awards were announced. The nominations were announced this week. So we're just going to go over, we're not going to go over every category, but obviously we're the album review show, so it's only right that we review the best album nominees.
Yeah.
So I'd say the bottom two there, Jay Hoos and Jessie Ware, we probably don't really know much about.
The most I know about Jessie Ware is that she's got a good podcast.
Yeah, she's good. I've seen her a few like not live, but on telly I've seen her a few times perform live and stuff, and yeah, I do like her. I like what she's about. Not a massive fan of her music particularly, but I can see why she's up there.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about Jay Hoos, I've got to admit.
No.
But yeah, we loved Arlo Parks, Collapsing Sunbeams, didn't we?
Brilliant record, and it's great that she's getting the nod.
Yeah.
I just think that she's punching above her weight between Celeste and Dua Lipa.
Yeah.
And even Celeste is punching above her weight next to Dua Lipa.
Yeah.
The winner of this already is Dua Lipa.
Isn't it? Yeah.
That record was phenomenal.
Yeah. I could see like getting a clean sweep of like every category she's nominated in. She'll be like the story of the Brit Awards.
Yeah, definitely. Because it's just all of it was just brilliant.
Yeah, and she's like the biggest export as well at the moment, isn't she? She's like really big in America and stuff as well.
Yeah, she's huge over there.
Yeah.
They've
like
taken
the Brit Awards, but
massively taken her under their wing. But I think it's great that Celeste and Arlo Park are in the conversation because both of them records are phenomenal pieces of work. And
it's also great, to be fair, that there's 4 women, and I don't. Yeah, Jay Hoos might be a woman. I didn't know.
Yeah, it might be 5.
Might be 5 women, but like 4, at least 4 women there, isn't there? So I mean, that's nice to see. I think it's that women are releasing loads of good stuff at the moment. As you say, like we loved all of them records. Dua Lipa, Celeste, Arlo Parks.
Yeah. The fact that they're all like that, there's 4 women in there, it doesn't bother me. What's like, do you know what I mean? Like, I just want to just like, well, of course, because they were the best albums this year. Like, it doesn't.
But you know, that's like the narrative.
You've got to, I know what you mean,
acknowledge it, sort of thing. So yeah, that's on the. It's usually taking place by now. I think he's in like February, isn't it? But yeah, this is going to be taking place on May the 11th. And organisers are promising it's going to be the first live music event at the O2 in ages. So I'm guessing there'll be crowds for this. I think 11th of May might be a test event or something, mightn't it?
17th of May is when people are allowed to eat inside.
Yeah.
So
depends if it's like classed as a test event or they might do like a reduced capacity or whatever.
It's also one of them things that we might have already had football fans in stadiums by that point. So you can't say yes to that and then maybe not yes to this. Can you? That's unfair. Are we finished a little bit on the plan stuff there? Because I have a question. What's your opinion on award shows in general?
Not massively. I just like the live performances on them that come out of them. I'm not bothered about the awards at all, and I think apart from the ones that are obviously voted for by the public and stuff, I think it's obviously all just like industry heads getting together and like probably buying awards and stuff, really, aren't they? And like, don't get me wrong, like fan vote ones are equally as flawed because like a lot of the time it's just on Twitter, so they just like the one with the most fan base wins, then, doesn't it? And like the one with the crazy, the most dedicated sort of who's gonna create the most fake accounts and stuff like that. And so I don't think there's like a particular fair way of doing it, really, of judging it.
Do you think there should be them, as in like, do you think there should be award shows for music?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
You know, like, is music something that needs an award for?
Probably not. No, to be honest, it's just like so.
Because it's in every.
Yeah.
It's in everything, isn't it? There's an award for everything.
Yeah.
You know, someone's made an award for something.
Yeah.
If you can think of it, there's an award for it.
Yeah. There's money making events.
It's just, that's my point, yeah. But the whole, I hate them.
Yeah.
None of them are real. None of them mean anything.
I don't think I ever watched a full award show. I always just watched the highlights of the performances on YouTube after.
Yeah.
But all the rest of it, like, I couldn't care less about.
And then I hate, like, and the nominees are.
Yeah.
We know.
Yeah.
and then like they all get like a little clap, and they have that like horrible. I hate that so much.
The losers clap.
Yeah. And then like there's always, and the worst part is there's always such like a contrived like publicity thing. There's always what's going to happen at the Oscars this year? Yeah. Or someone's going to say the wrong film, or
there was a period where it was quite exciting in like the late 90s, early 90s, wasn't it? And like they had the Michael Jackson thing with Jarvis Cocker and and there's a couple of other like things that were like
Justin
really,
Timberlake and Madonna.
Yeah.
Nipplegate.
Yeah. Stuff that really like caused controversy at the time, and like you wouldn't get that anymore. And they're like a lot more sterile now, aren't they?
Definitely, yeah. And as I think the music industry is a lot more sterile.
Yeah.
Even when you look at like, I mean, I never really believed the whole Oasis thing anyway. Like, none of that's true, is it?
No.
None of it's real. They've never probably been in a fight in their life.
Yeah.
Come on. You know, like I don't know. I just never really bought into any of that like lad. But there was people like Jarvis Cocker who were just like, I'm not having this.
Yeah.
And just really like mess things up because you know, and it was great.
Yeah.
But now there's no one really like that in the industry, is there? Because there's no space for them in the industry because
and people think it's weird.
Yeah.
Like the last time it happened, Arctic Monkeys, pretty much that speech.
Everyone hates it.
Yeah,
I loved it.
Yeah, it was absolutely brilliant. It like brought this like controversy and edge to the shit. Like what was a boring show.
Yeah. And they are so boring. Imagine being in the audience.
Yeah, I know.
Imagine paying, right, to be in the audience of one of them.
I know, yeah. It's
and James Corden is in a tuxedo
Yeah.
over there going, and next we've got the dad of someone who you've never heard of, and he's gonna...
Who is it now? Is that Jack Whitehall?
Who knows? Who cares? You know, it's just like the flavour of the moment person, and who's not funny, trying to make everything funny.
Yeah.
Oh, God. You've got me going. I've got myself going.
Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah. I just think I don't think there's a place for them.
No.
I think there's too long form as well.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
And nowadays, you know.
Especially, the fact, YouTube and stuff is so in vogue and everything. There's like short form content that people digest and then they put on a 3-4 hour long show. Yeah, it's really odd. Really odd. Yeah.
I find the whole thing. I don't know who'd watch it.
Yeah.
I don't know who'd go to it.
Yeah. Definitely used to be a thing where you'd be like getting excited to watch it when I remember when like that's the say during that time, but now it's too long, too sterile.
Well, don't you think like most of them who's gonna win?
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway?
Yeah. It's pretty much written in the stars. It's
not really any shocks ever, is it?
No.
But yeah, I mean, we can move on to something else. That's my 2 cents on award shows.
Yeah.
I just think they're a bunch of dross.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
A load of people just taking photos of other people who didn't really do anything other than wear a rented dress or a rented tuxedo or a
Glastonbury have sort of announced
something
as well, haven't you? Talk about that. I haven't made a scene for this, so I haven't got the info to flash up on screen. But yeah, Glastonbury have announced live at Worthy Farm, like a live stream event. We actually chatted about this, and an early live stream, didn't we, after it got cancelled?
Yeah.
We said I wonder if they'd do any sort of live stream this year.
At the farm.
Yeah. And they are. I think they're doing it on the Pyramid stage, like a live stream. Coldplay headlining.
Yay.
They're a good, I don't like Coldplay particularly, but like I've seen him headline Glastonbury twice, and I wouldn't go anywhere else if they were on headlining, to be honest. Like it's like when we saw Muse and that.
Yeah.
It's just like
I'm just I just don't care about Coldplay. I just feel like how is he writing so much music and no one else has like pushed him off that perch? Do you know what I mean? Like, really? Is he still knocking about? He must be getting on now.
Yeah.
He must be late 40s.
Yeah.
And that's not like you can't write music anymore.
Yeah.
No way. I just think like, how has he been so prolific?
I know, it's mad. How do you think it's exciting?
And also, I just don't think that anything he's written in the last like 3 albums has been worth it.
Yeah.
Like, anything.
I actually went through a period over lockdown. I think I heard like their first album or second album on in a supermarket, and I was like, you know what, I might go back and like revisit this, because I actually really enjoyed it at the time and stuff. It was like, and then I actually went through like the back catalogue, and it surprised me how like little hits are on each album, like the spread across. Like I didn't know like 70% of the track listing.
Rush of Blood has probably got one song on it. I think it's In Your Place. And then the one before that has got Yellow on it.
Yeah, they're all like.
And then the one before that has got it's really not. It's odd.
Yeah.
It really is odd. Probably the one with the most hits on it is the one Viva La Vida, was it?
Yeah. That was a good one actually, yeah.
Which was a decent album.
Yeah.
But I just feel like they've not really done anything of that quality since. It's all just been like in light up wristbands.
It's all like the Fratellis a little bit, isn't it? Like, obviously not on the same scale at all, but like this album, you sort of, you're not bothered about listening to them anymore because they're not current. And it's the same that goes with Coldplay. It's only their loyal fans that will probably buzz off their albums anymore, and obviously they've got a hell of a lot more of loyal fans than the Fratellis.
And as well, I just think like when this got announced, there was just a bit like, that was an easy win. That was an easy win, wasn't it? It's like, all right, okay. Bit deflated. I think
they need a crowd as well for it to like to work a bit. Like I don't know how much it'll work.
Post people a light up wristband to have in their living room. I'm excited to see the Haim one. Haim.
Yeah.
Sorry, they did do a story about that, didn't they? I'm excited to see the Haim one. Just because I tried to get it up there, but I'm bad at Google.
How can you be bad at Google? That is mental. Under weaknesses, you put Google.
Here we go. Damon Albarn, Haim, Idols, which would be Nuts, Georgia Smith, Kano, Michael Kiwanuka, and Wolf Alice. Wolf Alice, Michael Kiwanuka, Idols, and Haim for me.
Yeah, I made up.
And Damon Albarn. Don't know who Georgia Smith is.
Yeah, to be fair, it's quite an underwhelming lineup, really, isn't it? And
for what?
In the grand scheme of things, for the pull of Glastonbury.
For A, the pull of Glastonbury, and B, the time they've had to really put things in place. I just think
all the budget's gone on Coldplay.
For really no one that cared. Your average Glastonbury goer probably doesn't really care that much about Coldplay. Considering the people who have released records this year.
Yeah, definitely.
Kings of Leon would have been the perfect person to...
Celeste, Arlo Parks, even. Deep Dua Lipa.
Yeah, but I mean, Kings of Leon have literally just released a record.
Yeah. I think you'd say there's probably questions. Like Haim are American, aren't you? So I was going to say,
And you're not telling me that Chris Martin lives in...
Yeah, that's true,
Dorset or something? He defo lives in LA?
Yeah, he does, yes. That's a good point. Well... And that's in May, isn't it, as well? So
I don't know. It was just a bit of an odd lineup when
I'll probably end up
getting a ticket. But when I saw it, I was just like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay. I will take what you feed me.
Yeah. And yeah, it's disappointing about Glastonbury, really, isn't it? That it's not going ahead. Obviously, the timing and
because it's the first one, isn't it?
Yeah, and the scale of it as well. The fact that they need 25,000 people to build it.
Yeah. You can't really do it, or like.
Yeah.
You can't do Glastonbury smaller.
Yeah.
Because it's not. Because you camp just throughout it.
Yeah.
There's no like arena and camping site.
Yeah.
It's like for example, we're going to Kendall calling.
Yeah.
I feel like that's then scalable.
Yeah, definitely.
Whereas Glastonbury is not scalable.
No. But it's just disappointing more in the sense that, like, obviously it's a festival we love and we haven't been for years anyway. So now there's 2 years worth of tickets rolled over. Or like 1 year rolled over twice.
Yeah.
So it's basically sold out for 2022. And then it's just going to create this demand, isn't it? Which is unprecedented, I think, for like 2023 then. When they go on sale in October 2022.
It's been happening for the last 10 years.
Yeah, but that's what I mean.
This isn't going to help.
So yeah, I just don't see where we get a ticket now. But yeah, it's luck, isn't it? So,
hopefully, by 2023, the podcast will be doing so well.
Yeah, we can get accreditation.
We get a call and I think, I don't recognise that number. Hi, this is Michael Eavis. Oh, all right, Mike, how's it going? And he gives us a ticket.
Yeah.
No, that's never going to happen. But genuinely, we might be able to get some kind of live event or something that we can do in Glastonbury.
Yeah.
With someone that's playing, you know.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Yeah, definitely.
Because there's a lot of tents in you know. Wouldn't be surprised if there is a podcast tent now.
Yeah.
Which would be great. Imagine just going to watch all your favourite podcasts that could be done, like Glastonbury specials.
Yeah. I did actually see a podcast in Glastonbury, maybe like 2011 or something. It was that Infinite Monkey Cage.
Oh yeah.
That's
what's his name? Ricky Gervais's mate, innit?
Yeah.
Oh, what's his name? The fellow who beats up and like.
Yeah.
Robin Ince.
Yeah.
Robin Ince.
And the scientist guy.
Brian Cox.
Yeah.
Isn't space mad?
Yeah. So yeah, that'll be interesting. I don't think there's much other news really this week, is there? If you can think of any.
No.
I don't think so.
I really enjoyed last week's though.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you can go back and watch that as well if you missed it. If you want to sit through an hour and a half of us, but we really enjoyed it, so it is good to watch. I haven't watched it back, so if I like watching it, I think you'll like watching it.
Joe, I've had the glasses now for a year, and I keep just touching them, like by accident. I mean, like something like I feel like there's something in my eye, and then I'll just completely just go, and then they're just splodgy for hours. Then I'm terrible at it, honestly. And I have nearly dropped them in the toilet once or twice, just by taking them off. That. And I mean, it was good that it didn't happen, but you know.
Well, we've been getting an hour and a half on this now.
Are we?
Well, an hour and 23, so it's flew by that, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has, and to be honest, I don't want to stop. I like this.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. But yeah, it's just, what should we talk about?
Well, what was the record that we were discussing before that's coming out next week? Flight.
Yeah.
Now, if you haven't listened to Flight, I would fully recommend it. They're so good. Based in London, and they're just this like great mix of pop and indie and like electronica and like David Bowie almost, and like there's just such like an eclectic sound of influences and everything for me, and they just tick so many boxes for me. I think they're great.
Yeah,
and I'm so excited about this record. I'll be doing. Maybe it's a full episode one that we do.
Maybe that can be the end of series episode.
Yeah, because we discussed, didn't we?
Yeah.
So each series of the album review show is 10 episodes long, and we've recorded 9 now.
Yeah. And
our goal was to get to 10.
Yeah.
So it's quite a nice moment for us to get to 10 because we got to 10 and we can't. We absolutely love doing this.
Yeah, definitely.
So we will definitely be carrying on.
I know, it's not like unbelievable numbers or anything, but like we've got like 250 downloads so far just on the audio. That's not discounting YouTube views, which is mad to me because like we never really push the audio. It's not advertised anywhere really.
No.
So that's just like passing trades, if you like, and yeah, I'll take that. 250
yeah, it's
views
a weird
over.
one where like I don't want to do things that would like make it feel weird. I want to get people on the podcast that will add something to the podcast. So like the people that we interview, like it feels good and it feels natural. It's not like, so where did you grow up? You know, and we actually like the people. We actually have like an interest, and there's a good dialogue there, and that's quite important. And I suppose that means that maybe the growth numbers and all that kind of thing might be a bit slower. I just don't care.
No, and like hopefully like obviously we did the Natalie McCool interview on the last episode, but like that series 2 we're hoping to do more interviews, aren't we? Especially like it was fine doing a Zoom interview with Natalie, and it was edited so that it flowed well and stuff like that, but it obviously didn't happen like that because it never does over Zoom, does it? You don't have like the timing and stuff. But
that was difficult.
We want to do stuff, and so hopefully when things are opening up in person and stuff, we're gonna be able to do stuff with people in the room, which
or like in a park, or something
or
like that.
Or something like wherever. We've got some exciting plans, haven't we? Which hopefully we'll be able to bring to life. I don't see why not.
I feel like I send you a voice note like almost every other day where I'm like, right, I've had an idea, and like, don't judge me yet, but it's this and it's that, and it involves planes, and it's like your mind can wander sometimes, and I just can't. I just love doing these so much that I just want to make the best ones possible. And I want to make things that people want to watch.
Definitely.
And we've had some nice comments where it seemed like people were just in for a pint with us last week, which is what we want to create, wasn't it, really?
Yeah, these lives are like just a really good... They sort of like, it's a training for us really as well, in speaking to the camera and stuff. That's how it started out anyway, and like it started out as just extra content that we could... Because obviously with the podcast being long form and when we went into lockdown and stuff, it just made it harder for us to churn them out and stuff, didn't it? And it slowed down quite a lot, but so that was like a way to connect with people live, and we interviewed people on Instagram and stuff, didn't we? But we've enjoyed them so much, but we want to like make it like this sort of production value, so that's why it's on YouTube and Twitch and Facebook now. But as I say, like it keeps us up to date with what's going on in the music industry.
I feel like for the first time in maybe 5 or 10 years that I genuinely have some semblance of an idea that I know what's happening in the music industry a little bit, because I got a bit sick of it, to be honest, and then I fell out of love with it, and then you're out. Soz, mate, you've missed the boat, and now I feel like I've sort of getting back to knowing like some of the
trends and stuff,
and some of the smaller bands that we're obviously very invested in and stuff, but even in the pop kind of realm, that the Arlo Parks and and that one that I forget her name now that you sent me,
Olivia Dean,
like she's gonna be massive, she's gonna be huge, and I just feel like we've got that thing now where it's like it's on tape. We're on tape, like we can say we were talking about it then, really cool stuff. I really enjoy this.
I think it's important to keep in touch with what's going on. Like I just don't think there's a better feeling really than like discovering new music.
I think you're right.
I mean, obviously there is, but in terms of like music,
live, it's one of the best feelings when you go and watch a band and the support act comes out and blows your socks off.
Definitely.
There is, and you're just like, it feels like being a kid again, and you're like, oh my god, I need to know everything about them. I need to know like what that guitar is. I need to know why that song did that. I need to, and you want to just. Hopefully this will give us like that platform to be like, do you want to come in on our podcast? And we get answers to all of them questions, hopefully.
It's just really nice to see like the progression of an artist from like that
so good,
starting phase to first album.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think that's why we were so disappointed with the Snuts. Not that we followed them closely, but obviously, like, you know, it's just one of them that we saw them a couple of years ago and like they were one thing, and then listened to them today and they're something completely different.
Yeah. You know, I was watching something the other day, and it was people talking about camera gear and camera brands and all this kind of stuff, and it resonated with me about bands as well. And he said that I really wish people would stop talking about camera brands like they're sports teams.
Yeah. To choose
you've got to like choose one and then like stick by them staunchly, whatever they do, whatever they release. And it's like bands are the same. Like, as we've discussed before, like we were so into Clean Cut Kid.
Yeah.
Then they just changed. Like, you don't have to be like staunchly, oh yeah, it's great.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to be super fans of everyone.
But also, like, I've personally, like, I didn't really like Fickle Friends when I first heard them.
Took you a while.
It took me a while to like get it and to know, and I feel like it's quite difficult for people to. It took me a while to know that. Oh, hang on, I think I like this now.
Yeah.
You know, that's a hard thing to admit. You're admitting that you were wrong.
Yeah, definitely.
That's hard to do, you know. So yeah, I think brands in general, people just do that with.
Yeah.
Not just camera brands, but you know, brands across the board. People are just like, no, I am this.
Yeah.
And
political parties,
like,
everything.
Yeah, no, but they hate you. They've got your money, and then they want to get rid of you as soon as quick as possible. You know. So yeah, it's an interesting one. But bands definitely, like, I'm trying to have much more of an open mind. Who was that we were talking about the other day about? Possibly we're going to see them at Kendall Calling. Oh no, it was Red Rum Club.
Oh yeah, Sound City.
At Sound City, yeah. And like, I'm not a fan whatsoever, but
you're happy to be proved wrong.
I please prove me wrong, because people obviously like it. Yeah, have a go at proving me wrong.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I'm in a position now in my life where I'm like, I'm big enough. I'm not big. I'm big enough to say, I was probably wrong about that. It's fine. That's fine. That's okay. Should we take that as a sign?
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in, mum and dad.
And one other person, it seems. Maybe it's just them on their iPad and their laptop,
watching in different rooms. No, but we appreciate it, and like, obviously, thanks if you've watched this not live as well.
Yeah.
Subscribe to our YouTube, like this video if you can. I don't know if you can like live videos, but
I'm sure you can.
Share it on Facebook, whatever. The album review show, as you can, down there on Instagram. Follow us on there, and yeah,
we do surprisingly little office related content.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah. We'll discuss that. We're probably going to change it. So yeah, nice one. It's been great. Again, I love these Fridays.
Hope you have a good Easter weekend. And
have a drink. Have a good walk. Keep safe. And see you soon. See you next Friday.
Nice one.